The media greatly influences society. They inform people about what is happening. It permeates people's lives by creating their own criteria and opinions. In this way, the media moves the masses, creating different social movements.
For over 60 years, the people of Ambazonia were deprived of such privileges. The privilege to enhance their own criteria and opinion. They have suffered cultural genocide for 6 long decades, but not in this age and not with undaunted ABC Amber News on board.
You must understand that wars are fought and won in the media. The speed of the revolution on Ambazonia's quest for freedom cannot be explained without highlighting the diligent use of the media.
Franco-Cameroon colonizers, among other strategic moves, weaponized the media against Ambazonia for so long, and they continue to do so even today. The question would be, how much do the oppressed people of Ambazonia need to counter the media rage?
Indeed, how much more is required to stop the genocide? The carnage in Ambazonia didn't start today. In 1961, 1972, 1984, 1992, the media greatly influences society. They inform people about what is happening. It permeates people's lives by creating their own criteria and opinions. In this way, the media moves the masses, creating different social movements.
For over 60 years, the people of Ambazonia were deprived of such privileges. The privilege to enhance their own criteria and opinion. They have suffered cultural genocide for 6 long decades, but not in this age and not with undaunted ABC Amber News on board.
You must understand that wars are fought and won in the media. The speed of the revolution on Ambazonia's quest for freedom cannot be explained without highlighting the diligent use of the media.
Media against Ambazonia for so long, and continue to do so.
The media greatly influences society. They inform people about what is happening. It permeates people's lives by creating their own criteria and opinions. In this way, the media moves the masses, creating different social movements.
For over 60 years, the people of Ambazonia were deprived of such privileges. the privilege to enhance their own criteria and opinion. They have suffered cultural genocide for 6 long decades, but not in this age and not with undaunted ABC Amber News on board.
You must understand that wars are fought and won in the media. The speed of the revolution on Ambazonia's quest for freedom cannot be explained without highlighting the diligent use of the media.
Franco-Cameroon colonizers, among other strategic moves, weaponized the media against Ambazonia for so long, and they continue to do so even today. The question would be, how much do the oppressed people of Ambazonia need to counter the media rage?
Indeed, how much more is required to stop the genocide? The carnage in Ambazonia didn't start today. In 1961, 1972, 1984, and 1992, Ambazonians were slaughtered in huge numbers and help was not forthcoming. Why? Because the oppressor was the piper in the media.
The good news is we have what it takes to dictate the pace.
Right now, ABC Amber TV is taking advantage of the wonders of multimedia aggressively
to inform the misinformed and disinformed with undaunted and other revolutionary programs bringing it to the news untold stories.
Most importantly, to win the media war by taking ABC Amber TV into every multimedia platform.
In a word, where the importance of storytelling can never be overemphasized, Ambazonians has to tell her own story, not the other way round.
And like we say it always, Ambazonia must narrate her story accurately. We can do this together, you know, right? You are just a click away. Visit our website at www.abcambertv.com, and the steps are quite simple.
With just a click on the website, you can become a club member with so many benefits.
You can also make a one-time donation, advertise and showcase your goods and services at the marketplace on the website.
That was easy, right? You're welcome on board.
And thank you for opting for the winning team.
Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best. We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
The Amber World Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort, while our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Ambazonia down as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depend on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop.
We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best. We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best. We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best. We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
Stakeholders are ready for Kupe-Manenguba County Draft.
The actors and key players are ready to draft for KMC.
Good evening and welcome to Undaunted Weekly Recap. But before we get into the recap, let's talk about KMC a little bit. Kupe-Manenguba County KMC got its name from Mount Kupe and Mount Manenguba that are found in the area, created in 1993 with 3 counties, Bangam, Nkuti, and Tombel local government area. It is bordered to the north by Manu counties, to the northeast by Libelem West, by part of Indian and Meme counties, and to the south by the littoral region of La Republique du Cameroon. With a total surface area of 3,950 square kilometers, the county has 189 villages and a total population of about 197,171 inhabitants. The area has a population density of 13 persons per square kilometer.
Moreover, this area has 2 alternating seasons, which are the dry and rainy seasons. The rainy season begins from March to November, spanning 9 months. Its humidity ranges from 75% to 80%, with an average temperature ranging between 210 and 240 Celsius. This is just a brief summary of Kupe-Manenguba County. It is worthy to also note that Kupe-Manenguba happens to be one of the largest counties in Ambazonia. Before we are done with the recap today, we will tell you more about KMC. But before then, let's get you the highlights from this weekend Undaunted, right after the break. The Amber World Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort, while our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Ambazonia die as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depend on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop. Welcome back. From last weekend, Ngoken 2 Nigeria flourished with 72,000 US dollars drafted in one night. And the Ambazonia Restoration Forces demonstrated bravery, excellence, and might. The colonial government schemes to enforce numeracy ahead of the UN General Assembly come September. Now the Ambazonia Intelligence Bureau decodes the scheme and mechanism employed and says no way. In reaction, it would appear the Ambazonian self-defense apparatus at the home front is on an offensive. Now that's impressive if you access here. Ambazonia Restoration Forces have demonstrated strength in recent days as the Draft Award 22 gains momentum. The ARFs used rockets, IEDs, and Sunday's attack against colonial government forces. In self-recorded videos, scenes at different locations could be seen in Bafut, Umayak, and other places where the ARFs are demonstrating bravery. Now let's see the highlights.
We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
Ambazonian people, the Masaloruna. Nasagon the talk. It one time for sure una. Some selected few them. Out of which we get them. And this one so for una. Me gonna check what you wanna do. Mona forget that selfishness. That wicked people them. That shit no wife blast them. That coup plotters them. That bad people. That materialistic people them. We all their own about find and money. They forget about people them way they don't lose their lives. If you check about General Spoiler, we don't go. If you check about the man pass man. If you check about any, you go see I'm saying now people that are picking them. And as them go, we still there that's so. Now commando them this. Una see na General the only brother for corner. He talks to me, so go wait. Make it show Ambazonia them wait where you get them. Muna look am fine. Na second batch this, we don't move am. Una look am. Muna look am, una go see am. He say no, he want to make Ambazonia them then see am say people them there for ground. Inside in Kutunja, picking them there, they don't decide and they don't decide. They don't swallow a stone. We are una see am, and them be this. Una look am. Commander Bamungo them there. Una look am fine. Una look am, una see am. So wait where he the back na say I'm gonna find all way and the party is there for back. I'm gonna find all way una see. I says fire talk say it too in over luck. Una look am na then this. Una stand me then see una. Una stand me then see una. Muna look am. Muna look am na them this. Ambazonian pour the back. He the back. Muna look am. I never even count am all. Muna see. Then the back. Saturday na day way. Then give a jury all thing them with the draft. He the back una say muna draft. So that do her. They go fit buy material them for the people then go una see us and they empty hands so. Una see them and them be that. So I'm banana for them. Wait you then the beg too na prayers. And now one up make all we do together. Mr. President, the Commander-in-Chief, Dr. Sako Samuel Lekome, the Vice President, the Speaker of the Interim House of Representatives, members of Cabinet, county coordinators and LGHS, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, the ARFs of Ngokutunja County, I wish to welcome the Commander-in-Chief and his delegation to Ngokutunja, the land of plenty. Mr. President, the ARFs are eager to hear from you. They believe and trust in your vision and mission, even their lives. We are General Spoiler, may his soul rest in peace. Short live the struggle.
Here is Lamb of Glory, with the Amazonia, pleasure, loyalty. Praise the Son and Savior, who granted us our freedom, and let the children hero, who bought this land with your blood. Glory to glory, who rise and never to fall. Yeah, in our nation, for him back and money. Glory, glory, glory to the Father, for making a nation and joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of his nation. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation.
Now on Tuesday, August 23rd, the day after Monday Ghost Town, the people of Mbengwi were rallied at their local market called Mbon Market by one of the enemy soldiers called Beer to threaten them to disobey ghost towns and resume schooling. Mbon Market is a popular market around Mbengwi. Mbengwi is in Metaland and is the capital of Momo County and falls under Menemo local government area. Here is a narration by one of the people who were present at Mbon Market on that fateful day. Population of Mbengui rallied at Mbon Park that day and was addressed by a beer element. He says he is not threatening but warning that ghost towns must stop in Mbengui. Says from next Monday all people must come open their shops or else. Now he quotes, I quote this, he said, "I know some of you already have your grievances. Don't call me to kill an innocent soul." This is what the beer element cautioned. He says, "No call me, tell me, say, them don't pass. Call me now for tell me, say, now them this for so and so place." He added.
All right, now we move to another story. For the past 5 years, schools have been shut down in the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia due to insecurity and unsafe environment for both students and staff. It is not a secret that the La Republic du Cameroon military has taken over some school buildings in southern Cameroon and is terrorizing students, staff, and the civil population. Although the shutting down of schools is not policy of the interim government, the Department of Education and Strategic Collaboration, DESC, endorses this decision because of the safety of Ambazonians and because they consider it as more important. Now, it is the desire of the DESC and the IG in general to see all schools open with teachers and students actively involved in the teaching and learning activities. As it has been in the case in the past years, we reiterate that this is the DESC saying now that they reiterate that we favor school resumption once parents and school authorities are able to ascertain the security of the children and teachers, right? Because they want the children to go back to school. We also had Professor Beatrice Epote here in the studio to clarify that, and she gave an extensive discourse on that particular issue.
And now on Saturday, we reported a sponsored protest by the Bamis. We reported Kemi Ashu's view as well as Mr. Taz. And today we will expand that of Dr. Martin Mungwa. In order for any economy to thrive, you need consumer spending, government investment, government spending, and exports. And because without this, there is no economy, which means there will be nothing to export. And these are the words of Dr. Martin Mungwa, PhD, during the Predraft show for Ngoketunja, where he highlighted that the challenge is not with ghost towns, but the fact that La Republic du Cameroon has nothing to export because of the dwindling economy they already operate. He also gave some deep meaning to the protest. He emphasized that the protest is wider than just people going on the streets with placards to have their businesses and shops open. He thinks it's based on instructions to have consumer spending in place. Dr. Martin Mungwa mentioned the idea of people protesting in the streets is to create a consumer spending mentality so that people will start spending without even the government involving and investing, and with that there would be nothing to be achieved or exported. He also expanded on the subject matter. He feels it's political other than economical. Dr. Martin Mungwa believes the La Republic du Cameroon's interest is to create seaport, which is only a joke. He narrated that the idea of creating seaport is to have consumer spending and most importantly net exports, but says there is nothing to import and Ambazonians should not be fooled. There is an excerpt of Dr. Martin Mungwa we'd like to see.
Protest in Bamenda for businesses open. Ambazonians, this is a very, very important information I'm going to give you. It's much wider than just people going on the streets for businesses to open. It goes all the way to the instructions that have been given to the BIA government on investment, because this is not just Ambazonia, it's the entire La Republic, and they want to engulf us in the problems that they've created for themselves in the past 10 years or so. In order for any economy to thrive, you need consumer spending, you need investment, you need government spending, and net exports. So the whole idea about trying to revive the economy is only to make sure that they have consumer spending in place. Because without consumer spending, without investment, and without government consumption, there will be nothing to export. On the other side of it, You've heard a minister talking about, I think I read it yesterday, breaking news, they want to open the Victoria Seaport. This is a big joke. And why is it so? If you take Kribi has about 100,000 tons of capacity. It works, I think it operates at 10% its capacity, and it has a yearly profit of 3.8 billion francs CFA. You have Douala. Remember, Kribi is about, 5 to 10 years old. You have the Douala Seaport, which is 140 years old, and it brings in a profit of about 9.8 billion francs CFA. And now you want to create another port in Victoria with a capacity of 100,000 tons. So you spend all your money importing. We create seaports so that we can have consumer spending, we can have investment internally, so you can have value-added products, and then those products will be exported in order to have reserves for you to be able to import materials. But we are all putting this sort of theater to give the impression that we are going to import. You are going to import what? What money do you have to import? This is a gimmick. And let Ambazonians not be fooled. As early as yesterday, BIA has announced that Cameroon plans to cancel agreements for projects with abnormally long turnaround times. What does that mean? I think the World Bank has discovered that when projects have long turnarounds, it gives the opportunity for government officials to steal that money and invest them elsewhere. So the World Bank will only be ready to fund projects that short lead time so that they can track the finance, which now puts the BIA junta in a very, very difficult situation, because that's how they've been manipulating the economy, stealing money and funding this war against us. So the World Bank has brought a little mechanism to make sure that projects have very short schedules so that they can be properly tracked. And now he goes out and talks about the Victoria Seaport. It is not going to happen. Let people not be fooled. They just want to put it on paper to give you the impression that they want to open a seaport in Victoria. Nothing is going to happen because we don't have the money to import.
All right. Thank you so much for standing by. We sincerely apologize that we will not be continuing with the recap due to time. But then we have the special report that relates to Kupe-Manenguba. And of course, we want you to pay critical attention because you can get a thing or two from here. We need to get into the Zoom for the draft proper. All right, Kupe-Manenguba, a case of underexploited ecotourism potentials. Although there are multiple ecotourist attractions and sites in the Cameroons that have long facilitated international and domestic travel segments, such as the white and black sandy beaches of Kribi and Victoria respectively, and the national parks like Waza, Korop, and the Mount Cameroons National Park. KMC also offers another unique destination in the Cameroons for ecotourism nature lovers that has been grossly undermined by the colonial administration. Now, by virtue of its location along the Ambazonia volcanic line, AVL, the county plays host to unique nature-based attraction ranging from attractive sceneries, lake, forest reserves, hot springs, and waterfalls, amongst others, that can motivate the travel market.
Obviously, you can see that this county has a captivating, picturesque mountainous landscape characterized by mountains, hills, lowlands, valleys, and plains. The Muanenguba 2,396 meter and Kupe 2,050 meter mountains are notable in the area, as well as hills such as Edip Hill 600 meter that can support mountaineering, other forms of adventures, and the possibilities of admiring the rich biodiversity that thrives on the mountains. The Mount Kupe Forest Reserve is, for instance, unique from other forests in Amazonia because it lies at the transition zone between the equatorial rainforest to sub-montane and montane forests, shrubs and grasslands of the grass fields. It is also reputed as one of the best developed sub-montane forests in West Africa, with rich endemic species. Other forest reserves in the area include the Ekanjo, the Bajo, and Bangem forest reserves. The forest in KMC harbors primate species like chimpanzees, gorillas, monkeys, chameleon, and big preys. The forest also has rich bird species, as evident with the over 329 rare bird species in the Mount Kupe Forest Reserve, though the coming of the Heracles Farm is in part of the county has threatened the abundance of forest resources in KMC. It has also added agro-tourism potentials by the establishment of oil palm plantations.
There are also lakes such as the Kupe-Manenguba twin crater lakes, waterfalls, and hot springs that can also find in parts of the East African Rift Valley. These Muanenguba twin lakes are sited at the summit of the Muanenguba mountain cadre, which came as a result of volcanic activities of some 56 to 156 million years ago. The lakes appear to be blue, male, and green, female in color, with lots of cultural heritage amongst the local Bakassi people. The blue male lake has the shape of an African map, and it is bigger than the green female lake. The male lake supports recreation activities like swimming and fishing.
Now, contrary to the female lake, the male lake has an outflow and is drained by the river Mungo, which in turn supports fishing and sand mining. The green lake is landlocked and no one dares to go into it except for the traditional priest who goes there occasionally to make appeasements and sacrifices for the land of the Bakosi people. Surrounded by the lake is a lot of vegetation, which is a savanna type. Nothing falls into the lake, and if anything is thrown inside, the item simply comes back outside. Besides the Twin Lake, KMC also hosts seasonal like the Lake Bermine, which is also found in this volcanic area. The Ndepsi Hot Spring and the Kuko Waterfall in Mekong are also captivating features of this area.
All right, fellow Ambazonians, it's time for us to get into the interviews right about now, and we have Mr. Tarapadi King over there, and he's going to coordinate the section for us here. Mr. Tar.
Yeah, good evening.
Over to you, Mr. Tar. How are you doing today? Hope you're ready to draft.
Um, yes, good evening. Thank you. I don't know. Can you hear me? Can
Yes,
you
we
hear me?
can.
Sure that.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. I would also like to be sure if our representatives are sure that our representatives from Kupe-Manenguba are connected. If they are connected, please would you let me know? Who is Dr. Thank you very much.
Yes, they
Okay,
are
Dr. Ella is
connected
not yet.
here.
I'm sure we have
We
the,
can
the
see them
two
right now on our
honorables.
screens.
Thank you very much. Yes, honorables, you're welcome to this very special broadcast. I would like to apologize on your behalf to the people of Ambazonia that we're starting this pre-draft show a little bit beyond schedule. I'm sure maybe because our panelists were finding some difficulty to, should I say, they were finding some difficulties to connect. I can, they mean the Zoom that they can get some sound. So I'm streaming from many different angles. So just be patient. Let me ensure that Zoom is getting our sound. But then I wanted Zoom to get the sound directly from vMix, not from me. Okay, I hope you can get the sound now. I have managed to give.
Can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. And Ambazonians, for those of you who are watching, I watch, but you can as well use one of your devices to connect to the Zoom meeting. We just went through an inclusive coverage Ngoki Tunja there. You heard what the ladies were talking about. They brought to us a picture of ecotourism. Ecotourism is an aspect of tourism that sells widely in most parts of the world. It helps in research, in archaeological research. You have rare places like the Mbangems in Kupe-Manenguba County that do have things that are required for a nation like ours. So we are in this situation now, and this touristic site has not been properly exposed because of colonial of occupation, of a belligerent occupation that we as a people are suffering for. I talk to you cognizant of all of this that our people have gone through, and that your county rich in natural resources. You have countries in the world that are solely dependent on tourism, and they do not have the tourism resort or resources that Kupe-Manenguba has. But you find of the denizens in Kupe-Manenguba are poor. The per capita income of one, I don't know if it has increased. The last time I checked was about 2,500, which is less than $3. That's per person. And the people of Kupe-Manenguba, based on statistics, in spite of these riches, really do not even have this. I've not checked on any updates, but I know what Cameroon publishes is fraud. So I'll start with you, Honorable Fotabo. You're welcome. How do you feel that you are going to be drafting today as a county? And we know the impact of the draft. Cognizant of all of what is happening, how do you feel that you'll be drafting as a county? You know, the draft comes and drives away all of this criminality and forces of occupation in our land. So how do you feel that as a county today you'll be drafting?
Thank you for the question.
Honorable Fatah, yeah, go right ahead, please.
Greetings to the televiewer, greetings to you, Paddy, and greetings to the panelists. Thank you for the question. Thank you for this opportunity for us to talk about counting. You know, like you already elaborated, Kupe-Manenguba has so much to offer when it comes to tourism. And all that has been neglected or has been ignored just because of some selfish motives by the colonizer. So, drafting for KMC today, it's kind of like giving us that ability to actually showcase, like, I mean, to give our guys, guys the ability to be ready to protect that area. I know the colonizer has always used the pretext that people want to go and do tourism in Kupe-Manenguba and try to create some form of normalcy there. So if Ambazonian can draft and give the farmers that we have the opportunity to guide that area, we know we're talking about is something that has not been developed. But we think at this moment, since the colonizer has no interest in developing it, leaving them to develop it, they will not develop it to that we want it to be developed. So if we can actually send them out first and then use our own ability and use like the law for it, develop it, we will develop it to a standard that everybody worldwide who want to come and enjoy the facility, the structure and the nature that you can find there.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. I just like the when you were talking, I was kind of sharing your emotions and the passion in the way you're talking. According to the special report we just heard from the ladies, this county is the best in West, is among the best in West Africa. They didn't say Central Africa or Sema, the fraud that the geopolitical fraud that is taking place in the Central Africa with the French colonies. Now they say it is one of the best in West Africa. Just a county in Ambazonia, that's Kupe-Manenguba, is one of the best in West Africa with the most developed submundane reserves and with vast species. I remember one time doing a follow-up documentary in Malaysia, the country in Malaysia that was able to generate millions of US dollars monthly basis, a very small community in Malaysia, because of what Kupe-Manenguba is having today. So I'm coming to you right now, Honorable Somlong, for you to talk to us. You happen to have been outspoken for a while. I like when you join live streams, particularly with Dr. Mono. If it is the right word for me to say, you have a very special crush when Dr. Mungwa is live. So that's how I've noticed you. And I'm happy that today I'll be a part of the draft of, are you from Bangem or Gojong, or where are you coming from? You know, Kupe-Manenguba has a lot of AGAs, a lot of villages. Talk to us. What are you people doing within the county? I know Kuplot has affected Kupe-Manenguba as well. What are you doing within the county to have it, to galvanize? Mobilization, you have to mobilize, galvanize, construct and put institutions in place with the different LGAs. I'm aware you're one of the authorities of this county. What are some of mechanisms you've put in place to mobilize your people, particularly in the diaspora, and to build the structures as prescribed by the Amber Peace Plan?
Thank you for having me, Paddy. Greetings to all Ambazonians who are watching us from the different corners of the globe. I salute the very enthusiastic team in ABC Amber TV. We are proud at this stage of our struggle to have a television station of our own that is reliable. Let me just stop here by appreciating you personally for your tireless efforts, you and your entire team. These sacrifices will never be forgotten by the people of Ambazonia. The admiration I have had for Ambazonians is the knowledge that I have gathered within time. And Kupe-Manenguba, like a county, I should be able to paint a background on how our people have come this far with the knowledge that they have, despite the attempt from the enemy side to quench it. History, but they will recall that our area is the birthplace of education and religion. The town of Nyasoso is known to be one of the cradle of education in the former British Southern Cameroons. Most of the teachers, principals, and top administrators whom you have in Cameroon government today schooled in Nyasoso. So this is where they were given the knowledge and the kind of spirituality that has made them what they are today. The church founded Nyasoso, a fertile ground to touch on the spiritual lives of Southern Cameroonians. A bevy of the pastors you will talk today will tell you that they went to theological school in Nyasoso.
But then religion and education planted in our people brought the best of products from our area. But facing the genocidal regime, facing this bevy of tough, ethical, well-structured administrators, went on a program of bending them low for crumbs. The statistics you have given from our area are very correct. It will even baffle me to know that my region where I come from is so much endowed both with natural resources and human resources. You have just touched on a very sensitive note, the aspect of the coup and the incident to which their affairs worked on our county. It is no secret to you, to me, to the administration in place that Kupe-Manenguba became the breeding ground for coup plotters. The administration found in some of our members in our county a watershed where they could come and have sound counseling, where they could come and have a transparent judgment. Some of them, by their age and their academic acquisition, made the administration, through the leadership of the president, Dr. Ikomesako, to engage them in a one-on-one, hoping that through knowledge and their wisdom they've gathered with time, they could help in building administration. But what a shame it all turned out to be, that these same people on whom confidence and hope was mounted and ended up betraying the entire administration and the people of Kupe-Manenguba and Ambazonia as a whole. But alas, thank God, we have discovered the true faces of these monsters, and all doing at the level of the county today is to gather back ourselves, put back our forces, and to this extent we have had the Nguti and the Bangem LGAs come back suddenly, and for now we are working as a dual LGA product unit whereby our affairs, our strategies, and our finances are all coordinated. We hope through this means to build back better and to win back the trust of those on the fence and have been won over by the fallacies of those who told them stories that were not well founded. We are doing great work behind the scenes, and we are confident with the support of those who have come today to move forward. Great results will be coming out of Kupe-Manenguba. Thank you, Paddy.
There's something that's very enticing to me is this ecotourism part. One of the things I learned when I just left and I was in Nigeria in around 2007, it was with Leisure Africa in Nigeria. I think I worked for more than a year. It was the beauty of ecotourism, how the action that ecotourism brings to a community. You see a lot of people want to come. You see Cameroon wants to do their propaganda. They talk about tourism. But when he talks about ecotourism, you always find them going to Meme or to Kupe-Manenguba. And it's so good to know that Ambazonia is so blessed. And it's sweet during a time like this when we come, we sit on the fireside, because I call the draft for an Ambazonian the fireside. I will pick the born up with the born up town, but I'd always go holiday, go work farm. And during holidays, you want to go back and the grandmom and the fireside and roast some corn, eat with some fresh granules, and listen to those stories. So the draft day for Ambazonians is not just when they come to raise these resources, but they come to sound as a family around that fireside. Listen to wisdom. We're all over those who are watching us now that are looking forward for our grandfather, the president, and tell us stories. I know everybody is excited about that. So so that the people in the Zoom, I may have to meet them. I hope the sound is not distracting you people. So The beautiful part about it is this. The beauty of it is this. Is this our cultures? I picked a video on Kemi Ashu's war. I will show that video is, it's a beautiful dance that the people of, I think, Bangem, if not Bangem, but it should be a Koja in Kupe-Manenguba. They're expressing themselves in their traditional music. So as we take some fresh air, honorables, I'd like you to enjoy this beautiful music. We'll come back to talk in depth as per the preparedness of this county ahead of tonight's draft. Stay tuned. Wow, that was amazing. The nostalgia. I know you're feeling it, especially if you can understand what they are singing. When I listen to the guy sings the song from Manu, you just feel like you want to go home now. That's the reason we're here today. We want to go home now. We want to win this war. Can someone just tell me what was that song? What were they saying? Honorable Tabong, you want to take the lead? Understand what they're saying?
First, make an better.
Yeah, I think
First, me better.
okay, these are people who during the periods of Easter and Christmas, like you see them dancing, they want to express the joy that is in them. And traditionally in our area, those who are in the cities, who've had the blessings of children, who've had the blessing promotion in job, or who have had the blessing of a very successful harvest, they use this period to give thanks and to ascertain that the blessings of the land on which their feet are standing is encouraging to them. So in a summary, they are just singing praise songs, appreciating what God has done to them and what their own siblings who are out there, some of them in the cities who come back home, have brought to them. Like, so this is a song of appreciation and a song of expression of feeling of thank you. This is just a summary of what they are just in song format, buddy.
So, song of appreciation and jubilation. And what a way it is for us to start the draft this evening by bringing to you those sweet melodies from Amazonia, songs of jubilation, appreciation. And then we'll be playing this song since you've told me the meaning of it. Anybody that's $1,000 tonight, I will solicit to Professor Epote that we play this in jubilation of their work and hard work for the county. I wish I could see the way Professor Epote will dance. And I just looked into this. I actually saw Pa Abuno already singing his head with one of the music there. I'm sure tonight is going to be a very special night. For those of you watching us on Facebook and on YouTube, get ready to get into this Zoom. Okay, let's get into the subject now. We have a few minutes to round off this pre-draft. Nijo and the resource mobilization team for keeping you full on. We started late. Let's talk business now. The draft is usually the day of the draft is mostly the celebration of the draft has already taken place. And I want to believe that you people have been able to mobilize this county and get things happening. Right? I will hear what the other counties are doing. Your authorities of this county, talk to us with precision. What should we be expecting based on the work that you've done? I'll take with you first, Honorable Futabo.
Yeah, our county was seriously destroyed by the coup plotters, but the few that were left are like really dedicated and really focused. So we've made audios, we've made write-ups, we've contacted almost in our contact list, and we are very convinced a lot of people are going, they assured us actually that they are coming. Some already made so we have mobilized enough, and we are going to surprise so many who think they wanted to destroy the county. We're going to surprise them, and they'll be shocked. And actually, based on what we shall receive today, they will come back, and some of them will want to come back, and some will come back actually.
The Honorable Futabo, when I look at you, you are a youth, and I feel so inspired. You are you amongst many in the diaspora is not just one of those youths that have chosen to be a youth, but by you are a youth that you have chosen to take responsibility for your people. In fact, you are fighting for your people. As we speak right now, you are in the interim House of Representatives. You are an authority in your county. You are a stakeholder in your county. What is your drive? What inspires you? If you have to give a word of caution or a word of advice to Ambazonia looking and watching you today, to the youths in particular, what will you tell them is your drive?
Okay, so based on those who are on the ground, most of my classmates who pick up arm or who picked up arm actually were leaders in their own camps, and they have that drive. They have that passion. So when I am in the diaspora and I see it dying on the ground, I've seen in Nguti in particular, mad people and place Dane gun on them and call fight. And one is safe. So even if I was not out here, I am very convinced I would have been down there and doing my own part of it. So I think if we have that opportunity and we see those who are actually struggling to survive, they're picking up weapons because they don't want to die. They're out there defending our parents. Then what can we do? We have to do something in order to help them. I've been talking to a lot of my mates out here, and they always feel like Martin. And I'll be like, how did you get here? Why did you come to this place? Before you left Cameroon and came here, something was not right. So if something is not right, and we have realized that, okay, there is a possibility of changing that thing at this particular time, why don't get involved? Why don't get yourself, why don't be useful in making the change that you so longing? So when I realized that the change, we can, in order to get that change, we have to be involved. I said, no, I have to be involved, and I will do my own part to make sure we get what we want. We will not be out here and things differently. Things are different out here, and different out here because it's just it's made by people. It's people have sacrificed. People have died for this to happen. So we have to get on board and get busy and make the change that we so deserve. Thank you.
So when you look back, based on the lives that have been lost, the bravery of our people or our brothers and sisters on the ground, I use your words, protecting our parents, protecting and trying to secure and free our land for us, you think that all the least you can do is to participate in today's draft, is to fight and to
Very
support
correct.
them. That is quite inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you, Honorable Sam Long, for you to cue into this energy from a youth. You are at least, should I say, a senior youth, and I would say other in this community. In this community, look at a young man this inspired. I know you are inspired. Now, cue into his energy and talk to us. Why should we draft today? The draft has been going on, but why must we draft for this country today? From this point.
Thank you again, Paddy. Let me try to paint a background. I am the product of a Second World War. My late father belonged to the contingent of the East Africa Corps that was taken to Egypt to fight for the British. Among 5 of them that were taken from in Elong, where I come from, Upper Bakosi in Bangem, local government area to be more precise. Among the 5, back 2 of them, his story about liberation has been the one that has inspired us and inspired me, because when in 1972, we were born in the mid-60s in Boya. When in 1972, the French administration started sending teachers across. My dad was one of those who raised his voice and said, this is a mixture that is going to compromise our dignity and our culture and all what we represent. So, having from that town of a man who had seen that vision, who should be in his right senses today and not calibrate what we are seeing as a prophecy of old. This is the moment whereby we who stand between the younger generation and those who have gone ahead of us, like Pa Njo Litumbe and Magistrate Ebong and all those heroes who spoke out clearly and succinctly, we are in a position to galvanize our youth and tell them, take the moment which has come into your hand now. Be the driving force that will build for yourselves, because afford to have it slip off our hands. I am happy because my brother and comrade Honorable Fortabong has spelled it out quite closely. The young people are teaching themselves, but not at the pace at which we would have expected them to. There is one simple explanation. Those of them who were born 45, 40 years ago were born in an arena of complete and intimidation. These are people who have come through one president alone. They know only the dictator who is in power. But we who grew up in Boya attest that there was sanctity in Boya in terms of administration. There was kind of atmosphere where you could sit and pride yourself that you are growing up in a Saxon environment. That is not the case. So if the young people would not stand to brace the courage and what is there, so many years down the road, there might be regrets. But I think this is the moment. The time is now. We are garnering and gathering resources, and these resources are being poured into the hands of those ARFs, those young and energetic ones who have seen that dream and who are sharing that passion and who are prepared to do work and render good results. Let us invite our friends and all who are interested in the liberation process, because a 12-county liberation will still hold us back. Our true liberation will come, Paddy, when all 13 counties have been liberated and we are singing the marching song to Boya. We did it.
To Boya. You just said something. I wanted to say something before you said this last statement, but then the last statement is so powerful that I prefer to start. Like, if every county is not free, Amazonia is not free. That is the main objective of the draft. The draft is tribalism. The draft is not about more. It's not about man. It's not about Lelem. It's about Mesam. It's about every nook cranny. It's about that small village in Bangen that we believe every Amazonian, according to the vision of this president, every Amazonian is supposed to draft for every county because it's a collective. This is the most unifying framework that I've ever in the Cameroons put together. And that's so sweet. If I listen to you very closely, you said something, a reason of it is history will hold us accountable for the carnage taking place in our homeland and do nothing about it. That's quite amazing. We'll be rounding off this pre-draft show. The talk is sweet. It can exceed to several minutes. Okay. Oh wow. Ma Vicky is already connected in the Zoom. Just permit me, let me mute. Let me mute those that are in the Zoom so that we can continue this. Okay, thank God I was able to mute so that we now the Zoom meeting is starting. Honorables, I know you people have a great work. They are watching you right now on Zoom. We have to try to get and mobilize our people and get to business. The president might be connecting. Anytime the president connects, we should be kicking off. The Zoom meeting is there. We're going to give our last statements. That last word that you want to give to that person standing on the fence and still thinking. Why should I be drafting? Perhaps because there are a lot of reasons why some people draft, why some don't draft. So are just being ignorant of our fight to liberate ourselves. People, others are just being selfish, in other words, being self-centered, and others are perhaps discouraged because of what some of us are now accusing the coup plotters. There's every reason for myself to accuse them because of what they have done. But then, brave people are not giving those excuses in responsibility, like Honorable Afotabong said initially. You're taking responsibility amidst the challenges to make sure that you do something and do it now. So that last word for that person sitting on the fence is what we want to hear right now. And I'm taking it with you. I'll give the mic first to you, Honorable Fotab. Talk to us, please.
Yeah, I would like to tell I'll give us something. When I was in primary school, a teacher asked us, "What do you want to become when you get old?" And my friend actually said he wants to become Paul Biya, and we were like, okay, it's Paul Biya, maybe. We did not know the answer, and the teacher is like, no, Paul Biya is a president. So if you want to become the, you have to study hard, and but it seems it's just the case because ever since he's been there and he's not going anywhere, and even if he's gone, there will be a replacement who will still be him. So what I'm saying is, us, the youth, we should not things that are this crucial in the hands of others. They might be more involved just because they've experienced it more than us. But trust me, you experience it to the fullest. Earlier you go off your plate and prevent your next your younger brother or you yourself from experiences really hard, the better. So I'm calling on all of us to and drive for KMC. Know that KMC is so strategic that La Republic will do everything. They even used voodoo, charm, fight, go into villages. That's how important the county is. So they will prevent fighting from those counties, and they're protecting. Once they've protected a country, a town or a city or a village, and move to the next, and eventually an entire country is colonized, or say it's become normal. And after that country, they'll move to the next country, just like that, and they will start portraying that normalcy that they keep saying that things are getting to normal. So we can stop that. We can come in and make sure they don't take that that route. They don't use that system, that pretext, and prolong the war without going to a negotiation table and getting a step, a final, going to the negotiation to and let's separate. I'll invite all our people, please. If KMC, like it's been said severally, if KMC is not liberated, Ambazonia will not be liberated. Let's come and join for KMC. Thank you as you come.
Thank you very much. Your wisdom is enormous in spite of the fact that you're youth. I think your presence on this platform today and the words that are coming from you should provoke that youth that is thinking perhaps this is a Dr. Mungwa's issue, this is Dr. Sako. And I'm excited to announce to Ambazonians watching right now that Secretary Ella Kisito is there. But before Secretary Ella Kisito, please, Honorable Sumlong, I want you to talk so say that last word. If you're there, I'd like to have you in very succinctly last word. Honorable Sumlong, talk to us, just give to us that last word so that the person that will come to ice this cake and conclude this program is Dr. Elad that is just coming in. Give to us your word for a few minutes, perhaps no, 2 minutes, not 90 seconds.
Thank you for extending it. When it gets to Ambazonia, we become passionate and we can talk endlessly. But I think, Paddy, to summarize it, I think the message is simple and it's clear. Our people who have found a safe haven in the diaspora should think and think of one thing only. Somebody gave his life for your comfort in that zone where you are. I don't care whether it's in the United States, in the UK, in Japan, in Spain, in Germany, in Italy, wherever. The history of that country, need to go research it and to know that some persons gave their lives for that nation to be free, prosperous, and inviting. Who will liberate your own country? In the event of any displacement, some persons will ask you a question. What did you do when it was time of liberation? Those who are in the home front are doing it with their lives. They are accepting and understanding that the civil disobedience in the form of ghost towns are a potent weapon to their cause for liberation. So therefore, if there are few who are sitting on the fence, I think those sharp edges on the fence should be reminding them that it's time to jump down in the camp that is winning. And you don't need to ask. Dr. Sako is holding the mantle, and he alone is the driver on board the train that is moving to Zion. We are a liberated already. I can feel liberation within my spirit. So I'm calling on those who have not yet made up their mind, please come on board and understand that their coming is giving more momentum for the drive. Thank you very much, Paddy.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sumlong. You spoke like an honorable and like an elder in the house. I want to bid you a goodbye while I receive Secretary Elad now to ice the cake. We have some two reports that the ladies will be talking about. Elad, good evening and welcome. I would want to first of all that you just give us. I know generally you have ambience in the way you talk about everything that concerns you. That's quite important and instrumental during such a day when we believe that Ambazonians need that inspiration. Thank you. Inspired. I caught you earlier on. You were driving and rushing to, and you have managed to still lock into our console to be streamed and to encourage Ambazonians. For about 4 times this week, we're at your door knocking, and you've been. There are times you are driving from work and you're yourself available. So I would like you to just cue into the energy you've been listening to and speak to us for 3 minutes, and then you will wait for the ladies. They're going to talk on some very instrumental issues. We have a report that has been reported by Kemi Ashu, the Cameroon forces of occupation going into Bui County. And this gives us enough reason why we will have to draft to free our people. The ethnic cleansing of Cameroon is escalating. They slaughter our babies every day, and we will not stop talking it so that the international community will have to know it. So, Dr. Elad, I would love that they bring you on screen now. Just talk to us. Why should we draft for Kupe-Manenguba? Just talk to us for about 3 minutes, and then the girls will come with that news. And and you will stay back. You are the only one that will stay back. Maybe analyze that particular story about the unfortunate massacre that took place in Bui yesterday morning. An entire family has been wiped out by the colonial forces of Cameroon. So why should we be? You hail from Kupe-Manenguba, but that's quite interesting. So talk to us for about 3 minutes why you think we should be drafting for
Well, thank you, Paddy, and fellow viewers. Thanks very much. Begin let me condolences to this family that these brutes have wiped out the ethnic cleansing that you just mentioned. And I will advise the international community to raise up, to really stand up and don't wait until I don't know which number get before they will speak. You know. So when it comes to draft, I've heard Honorable Fatabong and Pasu Melong, all of us, they have said everything. I'm not going to repeat it because drafting for Kupe-Manenguba is drafting for Amazonia. And we are not only drafting for Kupe-Manenguba because Kupe-Manenguba is the gateway from La Republique to Cameroon. If you come out the Fako side of La Republique, that is from Bikoko through Mongo. The other side to enter La Republique is through Kupe-Manenguba, through Tombe, Bangem, passing through Melon, going to all those areas. So blocking and drafting for power in Kupe-Manenguba is building a wall, not that type that Donald Trump is in the USA, but building the real wall that blocks those people. Because once we frustrate them entry through Kupe-Manenguba, the people like Meme and Manu going to Ndian, even down to Fako, they are prepared. They are preparing. So far so long, we will give them, after they are already weakened, the chance to come in, they will be wiped out. So it's a very good thing for people to come and draft Manenguba. And not only Kupe-Manenguba. I love the way you put the last question that I think it was Honorable Fatabong, which you passed to me, which you stopped it and said, this draft is not only for Kupe-Manenguba. We should draft for every county. There is not, because if you look at Amazonia, we are all counties are on strategic. Take Fako, they can come through Mongo. Take Ndian, they come through Nigeria. You take Manu, they come to Nigeria. Kupe-Manenguba, Meme at the center, coming through Ndian from Nigeria or coming through Fako, go to Bui, go to Ndonga Mancho, Meme, all those areas. We are on all 6 areas. So there is nothing to say someone will sit down and say, okay, this is not my county. No, everybody is Kupe-Manenguba. Everybody is Fako. Everybody is Ndian. We should come out and draft. I'm not saying this because I'm from Kupe-Manenguba trying to promote. I do promote all the counties for people to go out and draft because your dime that you give, it will be very, very, very useful in order to liberate our homeland. And as Pastor Melong just said it there, we are all fighting for one thing and to free ourselves. A lot of us, the Pastor just spoke lastly as if he was listening to a discussion I was discussing with some who call themselves Anglophones but even want to contribute or even show their face out and trying to blame for spoiling so-called Cameroon. You know, they come to countries like, take for example, Germany, where we are today. This is a country that was ruined. Everybody knows about Hitler. Everybody comes here want to go and see the Berlin Wall. That wall was for what? That was the Cold War built here. The first and second World War that was fought. And today we are sitting with lights, streets. As I usually say, I leave here at 4 a.m. in the morning. By 7:30, I'm in Poland, in another country. But when I was in Ambazonia, I left my door at
from Muanenguba at 10 a.m. That was 2015 to 2016. I arrived in Nkwen at 9:05 p.m. Can you imagine? But, Comrade Padi, just to remind people that when in Bamenda, I used to was leaving Bamenda to come to Mut. 3 hours. Those former British Southern Cameroon roads were still, but so the moment La Republique came in, spoiled everything, promised everything, do nothing. So, and then you just said it, the killing of our those, not only children, the children have been put into oil, alive, fried like chickens, and whatever you can. And then somebody can really sit home and say that will not thing. It's really a shame, buddy, to listen to those people. But those who are devoted should not listen to those. Forget about them. Forget about the protests. Forget about the that they are making. People, we were talking today, and someone was telling me unconsciously that no, they are doing it consciously. They know what they are doing to kill down this revolution, to make everything. Let's go back to slavery. But I always give my analogy like this: when they play football matches, not 8 million Ambazonians are playing. There are 25 years. And when they win, we won. When they lose, we lose. So those few who are devoted, let's keep up. Let's don't give up, and let's draft.
Dr. Ella, you have said something that's wonderful, and I think we'll need to create a particular show to make sure that we come up. I have had experience. I left Bengui, that is in 2014, 20 years in Bengui.
Yeah.
7 no, I went there to do some work. Was to Kumba because I had to be in that evening. So I was rushing towards Mbanga, yes. Whereas there's a short route. I take one of the smaller buses, rushing towards Mbanga, and the train was bad on the Kumba that day. That's a distance and normal. I remember my parents, they will move with their legs. In fact, my mom used to do Gary in Metatland. Yes. She's a lady from. She moves her leg through the monkey roads, supply Gary. And the colonial masters wrote so long for us with a car. You take at least a day to leave Bamenda to the what they call the Southern Zone. It's unfortunate. You're going to stay back and analyze this story of the girls, and right now I want to hand over to Ondo to carry on fully. I'm encouraging those who are watching us to start logging on into the Zoom and stay tuned.
We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
Alright, welcome back to Undaunted News Studio. We have this new report here, and let's just give it to you right away. It is now the usual style of La Republic du Cameroon military to vent their anger of defeat and casualties caused by the ARFs on innocent civilians regardless of age or gender.
Now, this sad updates reach us from Boyi County, Kuvlu, Nkum local government area, and Lu village on Friday, 2nd of September 2022. At least 3 civilians, including a baby in a quarter called Ka, and 3 BS military terrorists in Lu have been killed following the invasion of Kuvlu and Takov in the morning of yesterday through Tatum.
Now, a certain Stanley is said to be leading the military. The BS military terrorists, empowered by the ARFs, vented their anger on the helpless civilian, a man, a mother, and her less than 1-year-old child from one family. One begins to question if these BS military are not truly terrorists. They shoot and kill women and children, even if all the men to them are warriors.
Now, the story continues to say, in retaliation, the warriors intercepted them at Loom and continued the invasion, neutralizing 3 of those military terrorists. Well, let's have this video of this report.
It's this one, the civilian way, a lot of public military, they don't come kill them. Now, the Pekin never yet reached 1 year, and now the Mamidis. So, now I work for Biadis. When they come, boys them pass their power, they go kill a civilian and them this make house here. This one now the civilian where the military where they don't invade Kufu, where they don't kill them. So I could still go for place where a woman and a Pekin where never yet reached 1 year. Now they work for military this like around 3 o'clock for morning. Now they work where they don't intervene.
The indiscriminate killings on Ambazonian civilians has no justification. One can only see it as a scheme towards achieving La Republic's to Cameroon annihilation agenda, trying to silently wipe a people out of existence. Because there's no moral justification of killing a baby less than a year old amongst all the civilians. What's the moral justification? And this is the same place and under these same circumstances you have parents agitating to have the government allow their kids resume school.
Alright, we have another story here. It says a boy killed for hairstyle. Now you would ask yourself, why should a boy be killed for a hairstyle? Now the Colonial La Republic du Cameroon military abandoned killing the workforce of southern Cameroon's Amazonia. Now the ongoing war declared on the people of southern Cameroon's Amazonia has exposed the job description handed to the colonial military deployed into southern Cameroon. Now the colonial military is in a systematic killing of the youthful population in southern Cameroon with the pretext that they are members of the self-defense volunteers group. A young man was shot dead on Thursday, September 1, 2022 by La Republic du Cameroon soldiers in Bafut, with justification that the hairstyle is different. The question Undaunted is asking this evening is there a restriction on a particular hairstyle on the people of southern Cameroon? That is one. Why is it that the colonial military officers involved in the indiscriminate killing of innocent men and women of Ambazonia are never tired?
Even if there was a stated hairstyle for a particular region, does it warrant a death penalty? I mean, a young southern Cameroonian have been shot point blank by a colonial La Republic du Cameroon soldier for keeping a short dread style. This incident took place in Bafut local government area Thursday, September 1st, 2022. And Undaunted gathered that this recent victim of human rights violation is a commercial motorcycle rider and has never been part of the self-defense volunteers group. Bafut is a Midland state of southern Cameroon where the self-defense volunteers group, styled 7 Qatar, are mounting a strong resistance against the invading La Republic du Cameroon military. Last Sunday, August 28, 2022, the self-defense volunteers of Bafut inflicted heavy damages on an invading convoy of the La Republic du Cameroon military entering into Bafut, and the result of the attack gathered by Undaunted was a complete destruction of an armored car with the occupants killed. Whenever the colonial military of La Republic du Cameroon suffers from the hands of any self-defense volunteers group, they turn on the innocent civilian population to pour their frustration, a clear demonstration of unprofessionalism. Now, it is with this attitude that the colonial military officer gunned down a young commercial motorbike rider in broad daylight for no just reason, the only reason suspected to have probably been the reason of this guy's demise is because of the short dread hairstyle he carried.
Now, it is worth remembering that in 2020, the La Republic du Cameroon military murdered children in what was styled the Ngabo massacre. Just to mention about this, the Ngabo massacre took place on February 14, 2020, that resulted in the murder of 21 civilians, including 13 children, by La Republic soldiers and armed Fulani militia. A murder that was initially accused to have been carried out by self-defense volunteers, but was later uncovered to have been carried out by La Republic du Cameroon military after thorough investigations. The recent killings of a young commercial motorbike rider in Bafut, just like the Ngabo massacre, is just a normal phenomenon, but the colonial military of La Republic du Cameroon to wipe out the workforce in southern Cameroon. Since no La Republic du Cameroon military officer has been sentenced, tried, and sentenced so far, it is clear and just a clear justification that these officers are working under instruction. Let's take this break. We'll be right back.
We the people, ABC Amber TV, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless, the voice of Ambazonia, connecting the world from Africa. With untold stories, Africa's best.
Fellow Ambazonians, this is a special announcement. The Department of Women's Services of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia is thrilled to announce that the commemoration of two landmark events in the history of Ambazonia, September 2017 and October 1st, 2022, is slated for Sunday, September 25th at 7:30 p.m. Amber Time. We all remember that on the 22nd of September 2017, the people of Southern Cameroon rose up in unison across every city, town, village and county with peace plans, denouncing the continued colonization and illegal occupation of their land. In a similar fashion, they came out in their numbers on the 1st of October 2017 and reclaimed the restoration of their independence.
Ambazonians all over the world, from home front, neighboring African countries to the diaspora, are all invited to this momentous 5th anniversary celebration. For over 5 years, the people have defended and continue to defend their humanity and dignity. Their very survival and existence as a people is at stake as a 21st century genocide continues in Ambazonia. Incidentally, the 77th session of the UN General Assembly, UNGER 77, will open on Tuesday, 13 September 2022 and closes Tuesday, September 27th. Our theme this year is Southern Cameroonian Ambazonians Women Journey to the UNGER. Stay tuned for more information in the near future, and remember, the President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia, Dr. Samuel Ikome Sako, will be present. Thank you from Dr. Patience Abedo, SOS, Department of Women's Services.
All right, Amazonians, this is what we draw the curtains for us here from Undaunted, and I'm sure that by Monday we'll get you all of the full detail of all the stories that we have taken right about now. Right now, would hand over to Mr. Tar as he continues with the interview with Dr. Elad.
The Amber World Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort, while our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical, intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Amazonia die as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depend on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop. Alright, so we're just rightfully informed that Mr. Tar has joined the Zoom link, but we still have Dr. Elad here in the studio. Thank you so much for still waiting for us, Dr. Elad. I want to get your thoughts on the story that we've looked at here today, especially the boy that was killed because of his haircut. Is there a haircut that Southern Cameroonians, Amazonians must stick to? Let's hear your thoughts, Dr. Elad.
Thank you once more again, and always a pleasure being with you, Onye and Mr. and great televiewers. Well, you can see I'm really down after seeing that video of the woman, the husband, and they were less than 1 year. When we even say less than 1 year, it seems as if, okay, if she was above 1 year, they should kill. Just killing a child like that is really a shame. And this to the utterances of the U.S. in Cameroon, who saying he has seen videos of how people are sending threats to children who wants to go back to school. I hope he is gathering also these videos whereby La Republique is coming instead of facing ARFs is going to unarmed civilians, vulnerable civilians inside their own houses and massacring them, committing ethnic cleansing like that. Tell me, this is not the first baby. I was with Comrade Padita and I spoke of the baby that was taken off her mother and thrown inside the hot oil. And this is what is happening now. You can see that, and this goes to the people who sit at the edge behind and talk and blame and think, okay, we don't, that your thing. This is to show this group of people freedom is never free. And if you don't want, we've said it several times, you don't want to put your face in front there like some of us are doing, do your contribution behind the scene. Will hide your identity. We have to liberate ourselves. These people, La République du Cameroon, has never ever considered us as human beings. I don't know who gave them, where did they acquire that audacity just to think how superior they are. I don't think it's a superiority that is playing the game. It's a planned game. It's something that we put in plan to say that do it. They did it before under the French, and they are doing it now under the French. The former French ambassador who was in La République du Cameroun was the one in charge of the military, and he made clear we had meetings with the international community were complaining that France is the blockage of we getting our independence, because they are telling La République that they should not relent with their military might. Number one, they don't have any military might. If you see doing, their troops were killed by ARF. They should come and attack the ARFs. They should not go to people's houses, open their door, and massacre them as what they are doing. This is genocide. There is no two use in this. This is genocide. And the international community sit there, wait until, I don't know, they have told them that when you will kill all people, then we can acquire their land without any resistance. But unfortunately for them, the statement remains as has been said from day one. Until the last man stands. That means they have to kill everybody there, come again to the start killing us before they will ever acquire that land. So it's really, I don't know if these people are human beings, because as I said, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, I said, we have crossed once in a while their boundaries to their area, but we never touched their schools, we never touched their civilians, we never touched their women, we never touched babies. We attacked by their military or their gendarmes. And when we could kill all the civilians on our path going to their area, but we never did that. So it's something that we will start as from now again to send all these pictures to the international community and let them themselves. If they are really, I hate to use that name, international community, Miss and Mr. because what do we call international community? All of us are international. If something is happening in Ukraine and they are bringing things from Africa, it's international. If something is happening in Europe, going to the Arab world is so. Why should we always use this word national community, meaning Europe and America, those two people, or Russia adding there? This is we just ourselves, but in the process of how politics surpass law, let's just go this way. We will talk to them and we will keep making them sensitize them on what is going on the ground.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Elad Kizito. It's been an amazing time having you with us tonight on the Predraft show and here on Undaunted. So we'd like to know maybe your last words on Undaunted tonight to Ambazonians.
Well, thank you for giving me a chance to tell Amazonians that it is on such occasion they themselves can see what is happening. They don't need us to come out and be motivating them again. Who are those? These are the things that motivate us to be steadfast in this revolution, to bend our knees and say until we cover our eyes that we will stop. But so far we can see and breathe, we shall never give up. This is calling Amazonians to come and draft. Draft for Manu, draft for Kupe-Manenguba, draft for Bui, for Menchum, for Boyo, draft for all 18 counties, because you cannot liberate one county and other 12, or liberate 6 and leave the other 7. We must liberate all the counties before we can say Ambazonia is free. So, fellow Ambazonians, come up and draft. Your might, no matter how small it is, will help in liberating that land. And tomorrow, you will sit down and hit your chest and say, I did my own, I did my best. You won't go behind and be that people who will come and try to fabricate what they did that they did nothing. So I want to invite all Amazonians to change their mind, change your mindset, come up today, start with Kupe-Manenguba. If you had not started before, no problem. We forgive you for that. Come start today and keep. Let's go together as we will win together.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Elad Kizito. You've heard it all, Ambazonians, from Dr. Elad. Draft, 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 and draft. That's the least, and that is all you should do at this point in time. Well, we've come to the end of Undaunted tonight. We're gonna leave you with ABC Amber TV images. Good night, and God bless you. The Amber World Draft Award 22 is here. People, it's time to win again.
This is the time for us to draft until we draft. That must be our slogan and rallying cry now. And along the way, we should be asking ourselves some critical questions.
Are we still enjoying 3 square meals a day? While our boys on the ground lack the basic gear they need to resist the occupiers?
Are we still living a life of luxury and comfort? While our brave restoration forces lack medical supplies at the home front?
Are we still throwing big birthday bashes while our restoration forces lack basic communication equipment to maximize their efforts?
Are we still going on cruises and expensive vacations while our IDFs on the ground go without food and logistics?
Are we still finding excuses not to make the necessary sacrifices and drafting big while our restoration forces lack the game-changing equipment that they so desperately need to bleed the enemy?
On a daily basis, how much are we putting aside for our liberation, knowing that only through the fierce resistance are we going to liberate our beloved country?
Are we providing the federal government and the CIC the means to carry out some of the critical intelligence and other special operations across the national territory?
As we ponder these questions, we must remember that a goal that is not funded is nothing but a wish. And we must not let Ambazonia die as a wish, because we failed to fulfill our patriotic duties by making the great sacrifices befitting a great people.
The World Draft once more is coming to your county. Stand up and be counted. No greater victory was ever achieved than by greater sacrifices. We are enough, so let's draft, and draft until we drop. Our existence as a people depend on that.
It is Award 22. Let us draft until we drop.